Hi guys, I'm with Total Recall to talk about the concert we just made in Verneuil Sur Avre, a little town near Paris. So, first of all, can you introduce yourself and the band?
Yes, yes, we can. We definitely can. So we are Total Recall and originally from Milan, Italy. Um, Kind of a new band that we formed in 2019. However, formed by veterans of the scene. So some of us played, most of us played for like more than 25 years in the hardcore metalcore scene in Europe and not only. And yeah, we decided to form this band. To honor the memory of one of our brothers, a common friend that we know since a long time, that unfortunately passed away after a struggle and a great fight against a disease. And we decided to keep him alive, keep his memory alive, doing this band and playing a style of music that actually is not really. Let's say, a direct influence of anything, but just of our experience and the experience that we had with him. Because we all played with him in different bands and situations. And myself, I'm Luca Figo, and I play bass. I sing for 30 years. But since Massi passed away, I decided to pick his bass up and come back to the bass and leave the vocals to Andy, that is way better than me. So he can introduce himself.
Real pressure and honor. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And you said that you formed the band in 2019, just before the COVID, the pandemic.
Yeah.
So how did you work together? How did you create like a team spirit just before the pandemic?
Well, that was a really tough time for everybody. So we were just finished the recording our album. So we're trying to rehearsal and trying to stay in touch with each other. And yeah, it was a really tough time, but fortunately it passed, and now we're ready to
Yeah.
kick asses. But yeah,
Yeah, it was. I mean, I think for every band at every level. So we are not going to be crybabies about it. You know what I'm saying. So basically, also people think that big bands they didn't have any issues. Big bands they have a lot of issues with that. Small bands as well, middle bands, medium bands, and new bands especially. Ourselves, of course, being in the scene for so long and having in our past some kind of career. We planned everything. So we signed a record deal in Australia, Japan, and Germany. And we wrote the songs for 1 year, something like that, in the studio together, like differently from our past. And we took a PR agency to make the promotion of the album and everything. We were already booked for, I don't know, couple of festivals, shows,
local shows, and everything was
stuff like
canceled.
that. And this happened. So we needed to rethink the whole project and explore also territories that are not really, let's say, our core, like social media and being visible.
Yeah.
Not really our thing, but we tried to do that, and as Andy said, we tried to stay alive and to keep the motivation high. And now we are trying to recover and to get back this time, even though it's even more challenging than before, because as you can imagine, with 2 years stop, there's a lot of backlog going on.
Not only for the band but also for the whole environment
Yeah,
around the band. So clubs that we used to count on if we
Infrastructure.
wanted to play shows Now there are no more. Most of them, I mean, some of them in our town, and we saw pretty much the same situation happening pretty much everywhere in the world.
All
Where
around Italy,
all-
a lot of clubs.
a lot of clubs where we used to play shows, and we cannot count on them anymore because there are no more. But thank God that we have new realities coming up. So that's why for us it's kind of challenging because the past it's kind of changed. So we have to look up and learn about the future to keep up and stay in the game. So it's always challenging. It doesn't matter if we've been around for 20 years. What's happening 20 years ago, it was another time. Now it's 2022.
Amen to that. Yeah. Well said.
And there is still that excitement to discover and learn new things about new people and getting involved in situations like this one, like tonight. It was a blast for us tonight. It was kind of a liberation, because we finally seen the light at the end of the tunnel. And after 2 years of a big question mark in front of us and not knowing what we were going to expect. So this is kind of a reward for us, and we are really grateful for that. So
Okay. And so I imagine that this is the first time for you with band in France.
Second time.
Second.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
played in France like a month ago, something like that.
Okay.
It was around March, I think.
The end of March.
There is
Yeah.
with the guys from Forest and Blood and
Yeah,
Primal Age.
we are traveling with a package. It's called Perseverance Alliance Tour. It's a weekender package with Primal Age, Forest and Blood, and us,
Mhm.
ourselves. And as Steph said before, we feel really grateful for it, especially to Asso Revolution. I think that's pronunciation.
Yeah.
As a French speaker.
Yeah, so
Because they actually believed in our potential, and for a relatively new band, even though you have maybe everything that is necessary, but what you need is to have the opportunity to show yourself in front of an audience that is already established. Because if we were coming here just us doing a show here, we were probably checked in, and also during our show, because you were probably the only two people watching us. So
yeah.
and this is happening not a lot. Not the bands, they don't have this opportunity anymore. That's why we are really grateful for it.
it's really good to be here tonight.
Yeah.
So
Okay. And how did you meet Forest and Blood? And it's with the association, or
Yeah,
did you know the band before?
Yeah, Forest in Blood, we know them as, because they are on the road for so long.
Yeah.
And so we heard about them in our previous bands, and Primal Age as well. Their manager used to be a person that helped a lot to a band that some of us had in the past, that in France did pretty good, was called K again. And even though 20 years were passed, so he heard that we were doing this band, and he liked the stuff, and he decided to help us. We had to meet then the guys during these shows, and definitely we kind of feel sort of a bond, because first of all, because there are people that are old as us, so they're not young kids, and
think about you.
Old as us.
especially
Think
me,
about yourself, but
especially me.
you didn't reach
No, I don't bleach my hair,
So follow pretty close.
but it's, we're having a. I know it's a stereotype, but we are having a great time.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
And what about the metal hardcore scene in Italy?
This,
That is a tricky question. I mean, I don't know how to answer because
Tricky question.
Steph knows. Steph
he knows
knows it.
more than us because I used to live in London for like 6 years, so I came back like a couple of years ago.
I can say something good about the metalcore scene in Italy, not in hardcore, basically actual scene. Because I play in another band, Professor N, And through them, I know a lot of other bands across the main major Italian cities. There are good bands,
Okay.
also some old bands like me and with the same age as me as Pigo, and they are really good, but they need to have a little bit exposure, and there's no
Infrastructure to
also there's no sort of a die-hard fan base
Yeah.
for those bands. They deserve this kind of fan base.
I also cannot talk a lot because I played the majority of my career in Holland with Dutch bands, but I stayed in Italy a lot, and I'm back since a couple of years now. And I agree with him. I mean, Italy always had big metalcore bands. I mean, I think if I say Sentence, Reprise, or Purification, there are many more that I can say that Awaken Demons. I don't know. I can go on and on and on. But what happened in Italy is that culturally, what we see here in France, especially when we had the opportunity to grow in France with K again, we were amazed about the fact that this country gives actually a real attention to the bands. So they give them the same opportunities that they give to the foreign bands or to the mainstream bands, and they try to work with these bands to make them mainstream. I mean, we were amazed about how Black Bomba were filling up. We did tours sold out. It never happened to us to make the tour sold out and stuff like that. This in Italy does not happen simply because, as he said, there is not a dire fan base. It's not cool to get passionate about an Italian band.
A local band. It's way cooler to get passionate and show the others that you know bands from coming from the outside of the border. And it's just way cooler to say, oh yeah, I know this band from France, which makes me a little cooler than you because you just supported your friend's band.
That's true.
But it's not about the friend's band. It's about being supportive about the part of that kind of music that comes from your heritage. And I don't know. It's something that culturally in Italy was something missing about this, and we know this completely substantially different situation here, where there is so much passion about the local bands, and
for sure.
French people gives culturally the same weight of respect and
But
attention to
maybe
the
more
local
to your
bands.
own bands. Actually.
Yeah, even
I
more
remember
sometimes.
talking with the singer at the time because we were doing signing together all the time, and I was amazed because I told her, "Yeah, you have a beautiful voice. You have potential to go outside of France." And she said, "We cannot sing in English. We need to sing in French." From our record label, because of the market here, they want us to sing in French.
And they were big at the time.
They were huge.
2005, I think. We
Huge.
did some weekends show with them. And the clubs were completely sold out. So we came straight from Italy and we saw the venue full of people, sold out. It was unbelievable for us.
We also saw our French label, how they worked for us. They were a small label that they were really professionally helping us with the distribution, magazines, TVs, radios. They make us actually grow for real. Let me give you an example about what he just said before. We have two major rock radios. I'm not going to make names because one of these major rock metal radio, has a policy. They don't broadcast Italian bands.
Why?
Why? That's a great question.
Really?
That's a great question.
Because foreign bands and like mainstream bands from United States or even the north of Europe sells more because of that. So it's not convenient for them to focus on putting their business in local products because they don't profit as much as foreign bands.
But you don't have to put all the
I
thing
don't,
in
I
the
don't think it's
local,
only
but
in Italy. No, maybe it's everywhere.
Yeah, it's pretty much everywhere, but
Especially in Italy.
we don't want to bash too much about that. But
maybe it's
when
not
we're
only
trying to
you.
say that all the issues that we find in the music business like forever for everybody that is passionate about the music business since the fucking 60s. It's pretty much the same. And in Italy right now, especially, it's accentuated. It's more pronounced. So that's why we're trying to say.
Maybe it's not only Italy, but I was lucky enough to tour a lot extensively everywhere, and I can say 100% that Germany does the same, UK does the same, France, we already said it, Holland does the same. We also have programs to finance new bands. So yeah.
We just didn't get there yet.
Okay. So thank you very much for this
It's a pleasure.
interview.
Thank you.
It's plenty.
And I hope to see you soon in France again.
Yeah.
Of course.
For sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bonne chance.